Hey guys, so in this video I'm just going to be showing examples on how I would deal with Jad for each of its different possible spawns using the new luring method that I showed in the last video. So this is going to be for if you are ranging or maging. You can do the same thing for melee obviously, but I'm going to be using a bow to tag the healers and stuff. It doesn't really change it too much, but that's just a heads up. Also, there is currently a glitch at the minute which you can see a bit of on screen now, where if you attack a healer and you run out of the line of sight and also a few squares away, then it does lose interest on you. Now I will put an annotation and a note in the description if this does get fixed, but just have a bit of common sense about you. If you're watching this the day I've uploaded it, the glitch will still be there. If you're watching it in a year, then obviously it should be fixed by then. So apart from that, we will move on to the video and see where Jad can spawn. So if you've seen my merchandising guide, you'll know that I do a few of these little drawing kind of things, because I think it helps if you can see it visually, as well as some examples of it. So this is just my little Fight Caves drawing map kind of thing, and the green X's just denote where Jad will spawn. Got those dotted around, there's 5 of them, and this little blue cross, this just shows where you should stand in preparation for when Jad does spawn. So I will call these 5 spawns each by a different name. Now this one up here, this is the north one. This one in the middle is called the centre. This one here is called the east spawn. Then you've got your southeast, and finally your south. Now this spot here is good because 4 out of the 5 spawns instantly get the Jad Lord. So I'll just quickly draw the walking pattern that Jad will have. So if he spawns north, he will walk something like that and get stuck. If he starts in the centre, he'll go something like that and get stuck. If he starts in the east, something like this and get stuck. In the southeast, again like that, getting stuck there quite often. And the final spawn in the south, this requires a bit of work on your behalf. However, all it is one click. So I'll just do this with a different colour, with the yellow. You will click there on the minimap, that will just run you around, and then Jad will just walk up here. You'll be over here, there'll be a rock between you, and again Jad will be Lord. So 4 out of the 5 cases, with the north, the centre, the east and the southeast, you just simply keep staying there. If it spawns south, then just one click, watching it in case it does attack you, and you are good to go. Now an easy way of doing this is, if you see it spawn there, then click there instantly. If you don't see it spawn there, then you can just sit there and wait, because it's going to get itself trapped. Now this is the area which I'm suggesting you lure Jad, and I've just noted a few of the safe spots which is around. By safe spots I do not mean that you can sit here and range it. This just means you'll be out of Jad's sight. You can sit here and eat brews, you can watch videos, you can do whatever you want, and you will not take damage from Jad. So the area the square which I suggest you stand on the spawn is this one I'm circling now. Now this is just the best in my opinion, because it does guarantee Jad to get Lord from the 4 out of the 5 spots, and whilst I'm pretty sure the others do as well, this is just the only one that I know for sure works, so obviously it's the one I'm going to recommend you to use. Now as well as this spot, these other green crosses, these are all places that once Jad is Lord, you can stand there and you will not take damage from it. So if you're ever trying to brew up, go for some special restore to do an Excalibur special, or try and watch a vid to make sure you know that the prayer switches are right, then you want to be stood on one of these green crosses. Now as for the red crosses, these ones here mean that you'll definitely take damage if you stand there and Jad is just around this pillar, say about there. So do not stand on those. As for these 2, I wouldn't recommend them, because I'm pretty sure with the southeast spawn it can get you. So I have left those red. So just remembering, if it does spawn in the south, this part is kind of irrelevant because you won't be using it. You'll just be running a bit to the north. However, 80% of the time you will be fighting him around this area, so this is a good tactic to know. So you can see that I'm on the final wave now before Jad, and I'm just trying to drag the last 360 over So this is a good technique because it allows you to be as close to the spot as you can for when Jad spawns. So you can see by running into it that the 360's walked over across to me, and this will work for any spawn that the 360 has apart from the north one. You kind of have to try and drag it around for that, but it's still really quite easy to do. So once you're within maybe 3 or 4 squares of the spot that I've advised you standing, just finish off the final 360, and then once it's dead like it is now, you see I just go and click straight back into the spot and angle my camera so I can see if Jad does spawn in the south. You can see it hasn't spawned in the south, so I'm fine to not be on my prayers or anything. You can see it walk over from the east, and that is fine as Jad's instantly got trapped behind that pillar, and that means we are good to go with the fight. What I'm showing you now is just 4 examples of the different kind of spawns that Jad can have, and it's just going to show you not necessarily a perfect way of doing it, but what I think is best and what I've been able to do in the short amount of time since this new little safe spot kind of thing has come about. So you can see that Jad spawns in either the centre or the far east. Now they both give the same walking pattern to Jad, so it's both the same really, it doesn't matter which one it came from. And you can see once Jad gets to half HP, like just on this next hit, now that the healers have spawned like normal. Now the method that I attack the healers is I will attack one, I will make sure I pray for Jad's attack, I will then attack another and make sure I'm praying for Jad's attack. And I think that's a lot easier because you don't rush and panic to try and kill the healers, and you make sure you get them well attacked, you don't take any damage, and it's generally the easiest method of doing it. So once you attack, 3 of the healers will come onto you, the 4th will get stuck behind Jad, and that means he's completely out of the game. He isn't going to do anything to you, which is great. You can kill off the last 3 and then go out, range or mage Jad, whatever, and get your kill and finish it off. So for this south spawn, you can see Jad spawns directly south of us. So I clicked on the minimap to run north, watching Jad all the time to make sure I can pray for his attacks. Now, had I not prayed, I did have max HP, I did take 1 of each attack, so I would not have died. However, it is always best to be safe and make sure you do watch the attacks. So once you've run north, then you have that, well, it's quite obvious to see the area that Jad won't be able to see you in, and you just run in there if you need to brew, just like you would before on the other spawns. So once you get Jad down to half HP, again the healers will spawn, and this time you don't deal with them any differently. Just watching for Jad's attacks, attacking the healers. Being on long range does help for that healer in the south, but apart from that it's really easy just to attack them in turn, waiting for this final one to come over to you, attacking it, walking behind this pillar, making sure that you're out of the way of Jad, and then just killing off these final healers. You can see that there is one that's just trapped. That's because its natural walking pattern can't get it to Jad, so that doesn't attack you, it doesn't heal, you can completely ignore it, and once you've dealt with the healers, killed them, whatever you want to do, then simply just go out and attack Jad like before, finish him off, and hopefully get your cape. So for this north spawn, you can see it hasn't spawned south, so we don't need our prayers, and then you can just see it appear on the minimap to the north. So this spawn does use a bit of a trick. So you walk to just the south part of this pillar, which we've been having it trapped behind in the previous clips, then walk directly south until you come to this lava. Now this will take you far out of Jad's attack range, so he wouldn't be able to hit you, and then just walking quickly to the east and then back to the west should drag him just off the rock he was previously stuck behind, closer to you, and because he was so far away, he would still be focused on you but not able to hit you, so you are able to do that as long as you are fast. And I've done it maybe 5 times, I've never got hit by him, so as long as you do it at a reasonable pace like I just did on the video, you should be fine. Now after that, it's just the same as always with the healers, just attacking them in turn, making sure that you're still focusing on Jad and not missing the prayers. This time you do have 3 healers to hit, and once they come around you'll be able to see that the 4th has got trapped, just like it did on the other one, and that bit of the wall's in the way. That healer's is not going to do anything, so you can just kill it or you can leave it there. You can see I just leave it there for the purpose of this video. once the healers are dead, just go out, back on Jad, hopefully kill it and get your cape. So the only real difference between this southeast spawn and the previous two centre and east spawns is that Jad's 1 or 2 squares more to the south. You can see it's still trapped in pretty much the same position. However, the southeast spawn does let you just take advantage of a little cool trick with getting the healers trapped behind Jad. So you can see once the healers come, I just kind of hold off a bit to wait for the northern healer to walk over, and the plan is to get this one trapped on Jad's northern side. So after I attack that, I then walk to the west, attacking both the healers that are on Jad's east, so both the north healer and the 2 healers to the east are unable to get to me. That only leaves the healer that spawns in the south, so I can just tag that, run into the safe spot, and then it's pretty much just easy to kill that one. Then once it's dead, you can go out, go back on Jad, kill it, and then again hopefully get your fire cape. And whilst you don't need to trap them like this, it is just a bit of a cool trick I thought I'd throw in there. Now just to conclude, whilst this hasn't really been a guide as such, it's just to show you what to do when Jad spawns, and then out of the 4 possible outcomes from where Jad spawns, how to deal with each situation. So hopefully you'll now know how you should deal with the healers after this new update, and if I've helped, that'd be great. If any of you managed to get a cape because of this, then please do leave a comment, because I always love knowing how many people have managed to get a cape from my videos. So other than that guys, I hope you've enjoyed or learnt something, and I will see you in another video.